salvation in mind, fortifying our peace of mind. I'm lost but close, at least I've done my best, redeeming lies in the sighs. Yeah, there's been some hard times. As we wait, we surely found, pressed our ears to the sound. Now we finally know the truth. It's time to put my time to use, to come home, back home, to find my peace of mind. Another night, the last in life, yeah, that guides my stride. Good morning, or whatever it is, wherever you are. Well, today's data import went without a hitch. Still thirsty though. So one of the things I'm missing to actually be able to use this directly is that we had the lineage tag. Well, I mean, I guess I was doing that in memory before. So we could run through and use a similar method of over querying the database and then linking it in there. But lineage tagging the database is going to have a number of benefits. For one thing, I did get a little prototype of the family tree running. I think I'm probably going to have to remove the actual direct dependence on dot and do that in the browser just to make deployment easier. So it's still not too snappy. It is doing a lot of the processing. But in theory, and I'm not sure how I want to work the request structure. But in theory, we can directly request the family tree things now. So that's a little bit of a sideshow to getting the points up, but it's been one of the things I wanted to have a database for. But right now, what is expensive is we basically find, potentially find a user, go up to the Eve, and then start requesting children all the way down. So if we do that once up front, then it's just request this family, and then we can, well, I might want to go through and find, what I've been doing with the other ones is actually going through and finding, I don't think this one actually has any out-of-family killers. But go through and find those so you can actually have a name attached to them. But, so there's the question of how to do that. And it's like, initially, it's just one big process. And actually, one thing I did find is killers were not properly tagged, because this was actually like going off to a 0 somewhere. So this is a very brute force way to do it. I probably could have done this more efficiently in SQL, but for a one-off, it's fine. Now, we will have to be doing the incremental updates to this. And doing it through active record may not be super efficient. So it'd be nice to get down to a database level there, although it is database specific. So one of the things I've used in the past is SQL, which is more of a syntax abstraction layer, which, let's see, do we do subqueries? Dataset filtering. Using subqueries. Datasets can be used as subqueries. Filtering records. Can we use that for an well, a subquery is kind of a query. Refs where ID refs. So maybe? And then I think long run, well, assuming we even stay in Ruby versus trying something else, this might be a general direction I want to go, just because active record isn't really meeting my... That's like a best match for what I'm doing. We might, in fact, want to do some very particular queries. And I know there sort of is ways to do it in active record, but you've got this extra, well, I mean, SQL's an abstraction layer, but it's, you get into the joins and things, and it gets kind of weird. Now, open the database 2 ways might get a little weird. I don't think that would be a problem. All right, Postgres, active record import. I guess we're getting active record just through Rails. Well, and I guess for that matter, since I'm really only doing an API, I might be interesting to see about stepping back down to like just a rack or something at some point. I did not consider that when starting up. Did I already get a console? Yes. This is where I might need to set up some other methods of getting the information out. Memory database. IRB console. All right, so this is database URL. Is there a good way a single SQL database. SQL model.db. Yeah, and there's the fully arbitrary queries, but it has no syntax abstraction. For different databases. So how do we configuring? So normally it's going to be just kind of implicit from database YAML. Rails. Active model. Pass the active model lint tests. End of database URL. I think environment variable or by configuration config database ammo. Okay, so that's an alternate. Okay, so database URL could do that. So it will use that by default. So if we look at database YAML, we can figure out default database name. Yeah, the actual production database would be different. We would do that with database URL. So I think we may also need because that will allow us to handle end variables in a nice way. Okay, edit. Database.yaml. Okay. So that's a basic example of the format. So this is, right now we are doing localhost, which I guess that's assumed. PostgreSQL. Well, that's another Rails thing, but that's fine. And this would be data server development. And did you have the user password format. So I guess they didn't have that. User password at host port. Alright, so initially I think this was unconfigured. I'm not sure about that. Alright, so now we have to do... Oop. Really? Have I just never had to do that? So you're Unix only. Oh. Maybe this is recent? Well, exec. We might also look at Rails 6. Oh, yeah, actually, Foreman might be a development dependency. Oh, that's development test. I'm not sure about that. But I might have to look for another way to do this. Yeah, you are not getting the dot here. Uh, oh, am I not using my local one? Oh, and actually I never did develop a... Right. Yeah, actually want the proc file to start it up. So I might not need Foreman locally. We do want... So by default, we have web. And, I guess we're going to have our import, which is going to be... And then that will pass on that information. Okay, so actually it just was not a defined task type. And then, are we collecting the database? We are not. Oh, that's right. You boot on different ports by default. Okay, so it is picking up that config from the end. Now, env might end up having secrets in it. So we do example.env. And this is a perfectly fine example. Bundle hunk files and temp files, uploaded files. Okay, so I haven't really changed much yet, but that should be set up. So now, what I would like to do is do some, well, migrations are probably still fine. I think SQL has them as well, but generating should be, yeah, I think missing the generator would actually be the biggest thing there, as far as annoyance. Oh, the SQL program. But you've got a separate migrator, so I might need to do an import-export thing later. That bit really isn't going to matter much in the long run. Oh, so generating the migration is fine. But long run, well, actually, for one-off things, I think actually the Rails gem does that, but does it do it? Oh yeah, it'll still be doing in the environment. So, but I still need to be able to run it. Oh, maybe it's the foreman run command that has the fork error, which means I would need to have a proc file for every little thing we do. Ew. Or I just specify environment variables. Help run command. Yeah, that seemed to be the thing that ran into problems. So conceivably, we would need every little task. I mean, the big thing is the database. And I could just switch database YAML back for local stuff. That was more to prove it was actually working. Migration. All right, lineage. Let's see. Is this lineage need? Would you ever look up? It would need to be per server. Lineage would not be unique. Does that work in a change? Because we'll commonly want to get everybody from one lineage. Do we? Well, one of the operations we'll eventually want to be able to do is grab all of the family for the family trees. All right. So the easy part of this is the eaves. Maybe we do it in here. Oop. Import rake. Oh, I started modifying this. And this I kind of wanted to have recorded in there for history, but we don't really need it. Alright, so this is where we kind of want to do the bulk update operation that I don't know. Well, there's update all, but to do it with a relative field. Databases, data sets, paired statements, querying. Schema modification. Specific types. Exclusion constraints. Returning rows. Insert on conflict. That's actually the upsert. Yeah, so that's the thing I was using in my other database thing. So, okay, that is there. DB select. This is the execute code on the database. Update. So, first thing we're going to need, and this is where we might be able to do some sort of proof of concept stuff here. Nope, I didn't want you. I wanted... Because this actually gives me a useful console. All right. No, we haven't done anything to bootstrap our database yet. So actually, that will be the first thing we have to go back and figure out. SQL.connect to env database URL. Ooh. That will be the normal way of doing it. But we don't have that. Did I not? Make this gem already. Dot connection config. Which was actually a bigger deal when I wrote this. Rails has since incorporated database URL, so that's not. Samples database YAML. So this might very well be a little bit out of date. Which this is once again a thing that has been replaced by Rails specific support. So the main benefit here is you could actually use Rails specific things to grab that. When we aren't able to run things with Foreman. Actually, does Foreman run any better here? Nope, it does not. Well, that's going to be a pretty common one. So the thing that we could get out of this would be grabbing the active record config for local development and being able to get a URL. No, this is entirely possibly rotten here. It's been quite a while. No, I need the console. No, I need the editor. Is this a development thing? It might end up in some of the scripts. Didn't I publish that? I did, okay. Now you're gonna have to reset to get that. Okay, so active record base dot connection config. Let's hope we spell it right. Okay, that's exactly what we expect. Of course, we're not requiring this by default. Does it pull in all gems? Oh, so actually that was that. So we go here. Database, specification. Initialize content. Did I perhaps typo? False. Did it say not found? Fetching, installing. Yep. Yeah. Just either shell. Why does everything else require okay? I mean, this is probably already loaded. Oh! Well, no, those should be valid. Oh. Okay, so I something else I typoed. It's always false on require. Oh, we started over. All right. I probably need to have some sort of startup thing that just gives us a DB there. What would that be? Would that be environment? Initializers. Inflections, map type, rep parameters, cores, backtrace. Yep. And their standard pattern is just DB. So actually, we should be able to do that, and then have a database K. Let's say data set on a particular table. So, yeah. DB lives is a select right now. But we do want to select lives.where, which is going to be everything. Does it still count? Maybe it's a different operation. Column lineage does not exist. Oh. Okay. Maybe I already did through it. Column lineage. Okay, so you need to reconnect. What? Okay. That execute code. Methods that return modified data sets. Oh, things that do select. Count hash. No method. Oh. Okay. So we've got a migration fail. Oh, it must be add because it's add column. Yeah, must be building the index. I did feel like it went kind of fast for that. Okay, you need to have this second line to be complete here. Okay, you've got a lineage. It's everything. We want lineage nil and chain 1 should only be set on real eaves. All right, so that is all the untagged eaves. We want, how do we do, well, we want to select this is a correlated update. I'm not sure I can do that describe that in the data set. Okay, it doesn't actually query yet. Okay, and you do not have correlated subquery. Album 1. Did you used to be more object-based? Maybe album is supposed to be the table? And all associated. Modify the query. This might be an older version. Must always perform worse than a window function-based approach. Subquery's where clause. Subquery itself. Internal query to the tracks table. A window function-based approach. All right, maybe window functions are right for this. Window function. Row number window function. Eager limit strategy. First 10 tracks. That's like defining a one-to-many relationship. Yeah, so this is the ORM style. Year limit strategy. What does that translate? Oh, partition by tracks, album ID, order by number. X equal row number. Where row number is select row number. So that's the way of getting the first 10, huh? Separate sequential list. The other option is correlated subquery. So that is saying select star from blah, 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 blah. As T1. Select star row number over partition. So I might need to look up the row functions to set that thing shows that that's current. Correlated subquery. Eager limit strategy correlated one-to-many. Well, it's not really one-to-many, it's kind of one-to-one. I mean, this isn't even a correlated thing. It's like I want to update with the field from myself. Which in strict update thinking shouldn't be an issue. Schema modification. Querying prepared statements. Prepared statements. Is this all kind of queries? Retrieving a single object using first, using last. Array of column values as a hash. Modifying data sets. This is aware. Okay, maybe not different kind of modifying. Filters. Because I want to do things like update with the same field and then update with another record without having to iterate through all the records, which is kind of how Active Record, I believe, does it. And I think there are ways to do a lot of SQL stuff. I mean, well, you can always drop down to raw SQL, then you're database specific. So yeah, this stuff is not so good. It's looking more for a syntax abstraction layer over straight up SQL. Probably if I do this just for the daily updates, I could just go into straight up direct Postgres to fix up the historical stuff, and then the daily updates wouldn't be as bad. So this is querying only so far. Having joins. Select from. Looking for update. Fully custom SQL, and you have to know your database syntax. Aggregates. Starting to see what album is. So there's nothing that's like, how do you do, I guess it's data set. Looking for update. This might get into some of the basic syntax stuff. Select, insert, update, delete. Oh, this is just, and you execute using database. Okay, well, it doesn't really provide me any advantage over. I still have to know what database I'm using. Same dataset for select, insert, update. Dataset, all, insert, update. Insert doesn't use a where clause. Dataset basics. So I need. Does he have the syntax translation in this? Translating SQL expressions. Well, it's really only going to be helpful for the selects as far as I can tell. Oh, well, there's the window functions. Which I would have to read up more on in general. But that's next. Yeah. The easy stuff is easy and the hard stuff is always hard. So they're saying that if we're doing update, and these are yeah, I mean, maybe I could use so translation identifiers, usually specified as symbols. Oh, but what does set look like? Update album set. So would that be, okay, so we've got lineage nil, chain equals 1. Select that. Would that be update lineage to player ID? So this is the easy one. It's a field in the same table. Oh, this, So the same server stuff might be a place to do a window function type thing? Wow, so even that update is well, there's lots of Eves, many of which died early, so there's going to be more of those. Well, there's also more, well, per generation, I guess we can count the ones per generation and see how bad it is, relatively speaking. Meanwhile, what can you do with window functions? I guess, I mean, they should be pretty common, but I want to make sure I'm reading the right stuff. Window functions will perform calculations across sets of rows that are related to the current query row. Window function syntax, that is an over clause, is required. So maybe row number, rank, disrank. Now, this is calculations over. I don't actually care about the functions. Evaluated at row, this is the first row of the window frame. Well, we only expect to have one match, so that probably works. It looks like I need to use look up over somewhere else, though. It's only a function. I guess it's case sensitive. Or a piece of syntax. Well, search busted. Maybe it's partition? No, okay, we must be in a sub. No, this is the entire documentation. What the heck? Functions and operators. Subquery expressions. No. Yeah. Values with table expressions? Inserting, updating, between different modified rows. Group by, okay. Combining queries. from table expression. So it normally be select from sort specification. So that sounds like a table expression. From joined tables, inner join, outer join, table and column aliases, subqueries, from select star from table as alias name, table functions, lateral, that's a lateral subqueries, provided by proceeding from columns, where clause, group by and having, window function processing, partition by and order by clauses in their window definitions. Contains any window functions. Well, we only saw one of these before. I don't know which one it was. There's window functions. Well, that's at least defining the over. That's the functions we saw before. Window function calls. Function name over window definition. Existing window name. Partition by expression. So over expression and order by. Okay. Range rows. Okay, partition by expression. It's not self-contained. Let me go into typecasts. Any of these others have partition by dep name from emp salary. Average salary over partition by dep name. Department name. So average salary over group within this table. I want not within the same table. I want to join to a different table. Over order by. Oh, that lets you do cumulative sums. All right, so if we go back to... Oh, this should actually be not found because there is no longer any with lineage nil. Oh, I might want an index on chain. Should I have an index on lineage nil? I mean, I kind of only have to do this once during updates. Okay, yeah, so that's empty. So now the question is, how much is going to explode? Okay, so that is significantly more records. And I guess it could even blow up more at the next level. Well, I mean, it's possible that things expand out at other points. Oh, okay, so far it gets smaller and smaller the more we go up. Alright, so we need to get we want to get you guys to go to your parent and grab their lineage. So that could be... So maybe window functions aren't really what we want here. Oh no, this was using it for a correlated thing, wasn't it? Well, you're... Okay, so select... Oh, it's using a row function in a subquery. And it's not specifying a table, so I guess that's implicitly the same table? Oh no, that's select over as from tracks, where tracks album ID is one of our specific things. So it's saying star and... Now that's a partition by, which was not in the other examples. Or was it? Over, partition by dep name. So that's grouping that. So this is saying from tracks, partition by the album ID. Give us a row number, and then we're going to select row numbers less than 10. I want to follow... actually, we should have that up here. I want to follow... well, actually, we didn't actually get one from you. Oh, this is only select lineage, which is now. I want to be able to follow these parent links within the scope of server ID and epoch in order to get the, in order to have every record tagged with its originator, sort of original Eve parent, sort of the progenitor of the line. So I need to be able to find the parent and reference a field in it. Yeah, probably could just do that in straight up SQL. I'd kind of like to have, it'd be kind of nice to have some syntax abstraction if I end up changing databases. Although I guess the window functions might change then, so it gets, if window functions even make sense. Or do they just have how to do, well, eager strategy, so it's all the database doing it for me. Order number, limit 10. Eager limit strategy. So, so I guess what I'd do is I'd be doing... We're going to, if we assume that's tagged, then we need not worry about this. It would just be chain 1. It would be this, where, but parent ID is equal to, so now we're into multiple tables. Where do we alias things? Aliasing SQL.as, column as. It's column aliasing. Or is that symbols the same? Want to use a derived column list. Okay, well, that's just table alias. Now, this is just doing the syntax. So it's just in general. So we're going to have, it's already called parent there, unfortunately. That's an extension. So how would this work? We'd need to have the subtable that was correlated to the parent table, which means you're going to have to qualify pretty much everything in the subquery. But maybe that would be the way to go. When I get to aliasing is where I get lazy. All right, so now we want, I mean, we should just be able to follow the idea. So actually chain isn't going to be super useful here. So now we're in the where. So this should be our default table. I guess I don't know if it's going to qualify this. Well, there's a get SQL. So we say where player ID is select star from lives as P. Does not say P.player ID. So we've got to do SQL.as. No, wait, there's this table column as derived column list. Maybe that's to rename the columns. Lateral join. I'm not familiar with that. For solving problems that need more advanced, like built-in, proceed a subselect from item. The subselect can refer to columns of from items that appear before it in the from list. Cannot cross-reference any other from items. For each row in the from item preceding the cross-referenced columns. And join as usual. Public orders. User at created. User ID from select first order time, next order time. This is so user ID. Select user ID, min created time from orders grouped by user ID. Left join lateral. Also from orders. All right, user ID is 01. Select 01. And created at greater than 01 first order time. Okay, so there's an ordering here. We can sort of select some stuff and then use it in the next stage. Does that help me? Would a left join lateral work on an update instruction? Or would I select for the user and update the user? Right now, I need qualified symbols. So I guess the general way to do it is this. Go P player ID, and we'll just put a constant in there for now. Live says P, where P player ID. Or maybe I actually need to be getting the, in a subquery, I'm not sure what it defaults to. And we're also going to want yeah. Server ID. And that will actually reference the upstream symbol and that will reference the upstream symbol. So I guess doing this in Ruby actually does become very awkward. So this is not, oh, okay, so PowerShell isn't that great. Or is that the, no, yeah, because we lost part of our line here. Or maybe it'll scroll back, but, so this is, so this would really be, but would it be from the immediate expression or surrounding expression? Oh, no, actually not your player ID. And the first step will be player ID, but after that we want your lineage. And then that becomes a subquery. So actually, so we're just doing SQL right now. We can start doing, I guess to be clearer, we should probably do a similar thing. Parent. Same epoch. Same server. And we're just getting SQL right now. All right, so this is, I don't know. But not the SQL. And then the child query would be sort of similar to that. DB lives. This one actually kind of goes back a little bit to this. Where lineage near? So this has to be. Well, as long as that's actually, as long as that is fully qualified, we could stick with qualifying it to lives, but for all the extra syntax, it does make it a little bit clearer what's going on. No, this is as. So out here, it should not be ambiguous which one it is. So, but this is just saying db blah. Select star. How do we do from multiple tables? Well, okay, so you were selecting lineage, but that doesn't uniquely define a single value to set it to. If I put a limit 1 on that, could we then use it? All right, see as lives, where chain 2, and update lineage to parent query. Update is not a syntax. All right, so it is undefined column c dot server. Oop. I guess now that we're actually in a query, we can sort that out. Okay, so parent query equals epoch server ID is server ID. Oh, it did execute that because update immediately executes. How can I get the sequel for a update without executing it? That's model stuff. For update, there. I mean, SQL is probably pretty common. Is that would be straight up doc thing? Is that data set? Maybe prepare could do update SQL. Oh wait, no. Okay, yeah. So that's what I really wanted. So this is actually doing a whole heck of a lot of work. All right. Well, since these are going to be pretty expensive, let's see. The other thing I wanted to look into, and I might have to kind of check. Well, unfortunately, I can't get to my. Oh, for number of data rows. Okay. So where was? There's the sequel. There are going to be no lineage nils. Well, we hope. I don't know. That actually seems to have done something. All right, so I've got a baseline for this. So somewhere I did. All this stuff. Chain 1, select lineage, update lineage. Oh, no, 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 no. Migrate. It should only do stuff for the nils. So it's probably safe to rerun. Alright, so high level methods. Lineage nil, chain 1, update, lineage player ID. Then we've got our other bits. So the awkward thing here is... Oh, actually, I was already scrolling through. I don't know if it'll print out the entire thing. Oh, boy. I didn't want to do that. I may have just lost my line. Oh, and that went over in chunks. So where are we? Server ID. As live, server ID. Oh yeah, this is the pre-ID fix one. Oop. Server ID, server ID. Okay, so it's going over in chunks. Player ID is parent. Actually, I think that's it. Let's see, can that be... That probably needs to be formatted a bit. Da, 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 da. Where? And all of our spacing is off. Okay. And that was checking on it. Okay, so that does it for chain 2. So we go in here, for all of the nil eaves, we fill it in. I might be able to even do that in update processing later. Actually, these are kind of getting longish as well. So this, we're going to want to do in a loop. Join on the same table. Actually, could you do that? All right, so in general, well, we do still need a lot of the parent-child things. So it wouldn't be the exact same query. Parent query is a full select. Right, because it selects the lineage. So we would have to take bits of that. So lives join lives on. Alias each of them. Yeah, that might be able to get it in a single query. Now would it be db where? Because it might just be... I mean, there's probably joins. Would that be in basics? Joining tables, db items join... Item ID, ID. So that's everything's fine. So does it know to qualify that because of the position? DB, well, we still have to alias them. DB, live C dot join SQL dot as lives P inner join lives as P, and then on is the second clause to join. So if it's from child to, if it's from child, or no, it was subtable. P.player, okay, so it actually does know how to do that. It kind of figures out parent player ID. So from that position, that saves us a little bit. And since these are all going to be similarly, so I usually do these in order of precedence. But if it can figure that much out for us, then that kind of saves a lot of aliasing. Lost a colon there. Inner join. Is it an inner join? Well, each record only has one parent. That should match. That shouldn't be an issue. Now the question is, can you inner join on an update? Okay, parent equals child, parent equals child, parent equals child. Update SQL. This is probably where we're going to have to, well, we can see what it does. Yeah, because it has to be lineage equals lineage, so it's like, which one is it? Which, you've joined it, so like, which way are you assigning? SQL dot as, no, it was SQL child lineage equals, because yeah, if it's joined, are you doing parent child child to parent? SQL parent lineage. And we do need to have a where clause in here. Where lineage nil and chain to. Although this should probably really be a prepared statement where the chain is blank. To SQL lineage. Need multiple from tables if updating, deleting a data set with joins. Okay, so we, okay. So that works for a select. But we have to specify it as a cross joining the from. Equals star. updating, deleting a data set with joins. Need multiple from tables. Model, I can create update. Where and to create the from clause. DB, oh. But since that's not the join, we don't get the implicit. And I mean, I guess we just have to deal with it. Yeah, from where. Oh. So there's a cheeky way to do the table references. The DB is ignored. If you're doing a from with two tables, regular join, need multiple from, yeah. More shortly, there was no more. But we have seen what we have to do, and we might be able to cut this down with the double underscore trick, unless that got removed. So let's do some cleanup here. It'll have the same error, but it'll be a little bit more compact. Actually, except then we have to do all this stuff out. Yep. Okay, so I didn't mind that syntax yet. So this has to be, oh, the alias we might still have to do. Dot from live C, lives P, where, and now this has to get all kinds of explicit, but it could be a little bit, well, yeah, where lineage, where chain, oh, but this is specifically child lineage. Yeah, because now we're in a joined from. So we care about these. Okay, that was the table name. It's over conservative in moving over here. There's another dot where lineage, server ID. So it was originally joined on, so it would be parent server ID equals child server ID, parent epoch equals child epoch, parent player ID is child parent. Give me the SQL for that. Update lives as C set. Okay, the double underscore trick does not work anymore. This was from 2011. I mean, I could probably do a little bit of a cheat on that, or we could say C equals... I was kind of trying to avoid it, but... Then if we go through here, but I think it is, we're going to have to do still this. Child, parent. Parent player ID. Child epoch. Parent epoch. Child server ID. This is where it's right on the edge of the scroll over. Parent server ID. All right, child chain. I suppose I could write this as an SQL function too. I usually don't do built-in functions. But this is a lot of pure... Well, you'd have to rewrite it if you change databases. There's that. Lives as P, SQL. Lives as C, set C lineage equals parent lineage from lives as P, where C lineage is null and C chain is null, and parent server ID, child CERN ID, parent epoch, child epoch. Oh, okay. You need to kind of leave it hanging yesterday. At least they didn't do a late night update. Did we get any word on the map reset, though? Plan ID, parent ID. All right, so I already ran a version of this for chain 2, which I guess on the upside means it wouldn't do anything. Oop. Column C of relation lives does not exist. Update lives. Okay, so the update statement is not qualified because you're updating this table. And it would complain if that was... So that did something different because it still updated records. How... Oh, we have a parent whose lineage is nil. Which probably means we missed an Eve somewhere. Would you... Yeah, that would just be a dangling pointer. Hmm. Well, I might leave that problem for later. Yeah, well, I mean, it's a big database. I could probably do like an index on chain, for instance. Uh, maybe on lineage nil or just lineage. But this will be like a once a day thing, so it's not too bad. Actually, what hmm. Dataset methods. Oh, explain analyze. Well, update, and the problem is update does that. So what I have to do, no, update SQL is a string. Wrap it in a transaction and rollback? Hmm. Nope. So can you then analyze the transaction? Is that how that works? Maybe there's a high level topic about this. I was kind of hoping the search would find it. Explain? Analyze? No. 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 Yeah. Code order reflection. Oh, I would have thought that was a dataset method. So where do we find that? Oh, SQL Postgres. Okay. How I test SQL. Oh, I wonder if that counts as reflection? Yeah, okay, so that's a different kind of explain. Oh, yep. Explain, analyze, true. Can we put that in here to say do that? Well, it doesn't do anything, so the rollback doesn't matter. For string, yeah, so that, well, I mean, that's like even the select is pretty expensive. That is not formatted nicely. So we would actually, does the console, Oh, actually, that still works too. Okay, so gather. Parallel hash join. Hash cond. Okay, so that's the join. So it's doing the join before. Well, no, because this is going up here. Parallel sequence scan of lives. Records removed by filter. I would actually expect to more than that have been removed. Or is it going top to bottom? Rows 25. Actual time. Okay, so this is like, I think, cumulative time in the process, which means that this is first. Parallel sequence scan on parent. Parallel hash. Oh, okay. Lives parent, lives C. Only live C has stuff removed from it. Okay, so I was counting on the parent links. To do all the work, but arguably we know it's going to be chain 1. Where C, lineage nil, chain 2. And this could change the results a bit if anything was invalid. Still pretty slow, but it's actually quite a bit better. On lives. Okay, yeah, we do the filter right up front. Filter lineage is null and chain equals 2. Yeah, I mean, it helps. Hash cond. Oh, right, because no, if it was chain 1, we would have updated it. So it's a little bit of a cheat here because we actually selected 0 rows now. Because the weird case was, oh yeah, that was only chain 2. People who were pointing at, oh, probably their parent just doesn't exist. Well, no, because we got 141 rows. So their parent existed but wasn't chain 1. So that's database corruption for you, I guess. Or log file corruption, really. All right, actually, that's probably a good time for me to go get more water and generally get up and move around a little bit. I will be back in a few minutes. Um, Lovely dupes.
Who's gonna file a copyright claim on Satan? What, the Catholic Church? No. It's the only entity that can theoretically file a copyright claim on Satan.
The holy hand grenade.
Yeah, they're gonna hit me with the holy hand grenade of Antioch. 1, 2, 5. Oh, 3. Sorry. Just answer the 5 questions.
I don't want to retain anything. Look at this. We're gonna have 7 nightmares and... Or no. We're gonna have 4 nightmares and 6 madnesses. that's actually a little on the useless side. Okay. This is infinite nightmares and madnesses. Infinite. You know what the best part is? They're all dead because I just activated so many skills, but I do have 6 nightmares, all cost 0, and 6 madnesses that all cost 0. And we're gonna bouncing flash this last dude just.
Welcome back. So the rows removed feels off. Because it should really be removing, like, everything. Or I would expect it to be removing a significantly larger number of records. Or rather, I'd expect this to be more like the number of records it selected or the number of records it removed. So maybe that is including the eventual join. So the filter was done by a seek scan. Okay, so this, this might be milliseconds. I might believe that was 4 seconds. So maybe, well, once again, this isn't a thing I'm going to do very often. 2 to 2. So something else used up this time. So these were actually in parallel. 4 to 4. Maybe these were sequenced? It's like this went 2 to 2, and then like suddenly we're at 4 to 4, and 4 to 4. So maybe these aren't really actually parallel in this local implementation here, at least. Which means that this is kind of, this time is doubled, essentially. But this is the thing we can do like once a day. So is it really worth having that index there? I do have an index on the join, which is pretty darn fast, apparently. And then gather rows, which we're just kind of, this is effectively a select right now. Yeah, so if we wanted to speed it up, that would be one to do it. Okay, so we are up to here. With the multi-line copy again. Oh, this did not include the, yeah, I want to include the other chain filter. All right, so for these, okay, so that got us up to chain 2. Or thereabouts. That got us through the where clause. Oh, and I did my little aliases here to compact this. So he's doing shift on that. All right, db from where a lot of stuff. All right, and I need to define client equals SQL CP equals SQL P. So this is chain 1. We also wanted to add parent chain 1. So we don't need this then. Okay, so we do step 1. Then we need DB lives. Do we just have a max? Yep. Let's see. So max chain. And you see, I usually end up doing each's, well, we do it one of very specific range here. So we don't want 1. I want to start with 2. I forget. Okay, that does include the endpoint. Well, at least we only need once. Now this could be a quite long process to do all of these. So we're going to do now this, I have not put progress bar into this project proper, but it's a place you could do it. So we need to go chain and chain -1 just to make it a little bit more streamlined. And then did I? Okay, no, that was that. It was the loop. And then db lives dot where untagged lives. Well, anything that was a death only would be missing lineage information. Just give me something on that problem. So this will be a thing. All right, so this is a thing that we can run. Import dot, is it just lineage or is it like update lineage? Set lineage. So this will be our patch up process, and then actually all of our imports here Each do logs, load server. What do I want to patch up afterwards? Actually, I guess on a similar note to this, set lineage. So this, you know what? The return value of this was a number. Which might actually be sufficiently useful as my progress point. Although it won't really get a break. There. All right, so that should already be filled in. And then maybe I want to look at exactly what we are not able to do later. All right, so rake. So this will just be going in the background while we kind of poke at some other stuff. Of course, we don't prove this works. Well, okay, I guess we got a big chunk of them already. Already did 2. Now, some of these are going to be death only. I think there's at least 100 some of those. And I guess we're not really using the server right now. Although we haven't completely proven this either. Seems to be running. All right, we've got a migration. We've got SQL for these very custom statements. So yeah, I have no idea how you do a correlated update in active record. But in general, the model, the ORM model isn't necessarily feeling quite right, although I've got some stuff written in already. Okay, git add config schema update. Git diff. Oh, git status. Did I already add? Oh, actually, yeah, we do want these. Oh, actually, what did I do for that? Yeah, this only pulls from active record. We should really probably just go to straight up database URL if we got it. I need to make sure that gets defined at the proper scope. And then it will complain that it's a constant. And I got these backwards. All right, quick check on you. Although this doesn't have, this only checks one case. Okay. All right, so that is, yeah. I guess Eves and Chain 2 took out a big chunk. All right, and that one and then once we have lineage tagged, it will actually streamline a lot of the family tree generation stuff. Once I have lineage tagged, I believe possible to replace the thing I'm doing more directly from the database. Or actually, well, I could overquery and calculate lineage, but I'd rather do this. Yes, we don't know the balance of finding the records versus updating the records. It is a lot of updates. So the other thing is I've got monument logs with the project. I don't have that open yet. Actually, this is most relevant, even though really I want to go to the fetch script. Well, I mean, the monument points might have some relevance, but... Okay, so... So yeah, so you have a completely separate URL. So I was able to reuse fetch file. Extract monument path list was different. And just fetches that. And then the other actual monument stuff got processed elsewhere. So we had lifelog cache, base log cache. So you were looking specifically for lifelogs. And for lifelog server. Right, that's skipping this. So I don't. Yeah, and then this bit gets down into other stuff. So I don't think I can reuse this directly. I might be able to reuse bits of it. Monument cache. Monuments. Well, no, it would be servers. So we've got a cache directory. Let me get this where at least I can monitor it. All right, so monument cache, fetch. Dir for each in the. No, this is actually going to default to cache monuments, and I had trailing before. All right, we go through the directory. Yeah, so we have a directory, we go through it. That gives us the thing for each server. And it's only a one-step thing to log then, I think, because we don't have a subdirectory. It's just a file. So that gets... We had an index there. Oh, but I do need to have a structure. So server... log server. Def extract path list. So you're each. Nope. Okay. It fetches and then iterates. That should be fine for equivalence. So you go through the cache. Dir match. So this is actually more on monument points. You. This is not a log. This is pretty much a... I guess you can call it a log. So I don't think I need... Well, no, unless I go down to an individual monument. So monument right now does load file. So we already sort of... Well, yeah, load file. So we need to have a way to give that just a string. Could that even be if matches that? Initialize. Oh, okay, we're using you for load dir. So actually this is taking over this stuff effectively. Dir for each cache. It builds up a list of monuments. We're iterating instead of returning them right now. Well, that's a total list of monuments. Oh, did I just not use that? Yeah, I just didn't use that. I was trying to copy my other thing. It didn't work out. This does get the idea that we're only filtering these. We then do load the file, which does all of that stuff. So that is a load file. So this much will end up being common, but this much is going to change. What did I do? Did I do something in history for that? Load log, yeah, it takes a log file. Well, load server, goes through the logs, gets each log file. Load server, load log file. You don't even have a load dir anymore. Servers, new each. Well, it's going to be each server's monuments. This is also going through each server, so that's fine. So once we've got a server, so does it return a thing that gives us the server? Because monument load gives us instances of monuments. This is still servers, so would this be monuments for a given directory? Although it's going to be a little bit more like, well, yeah, log file. Would it be log file? We skip this. It is a specific path. Needs that to calculate the full directory. File path, approx log time within m time is fine. Server. It's never going to be a name. And we just had an open on this. So this is really close to the same thing, which we could then pass off to, yeah, then other things did the log parsing in their own way. Returning these as monuments is probably fine. We just have to have monument. Something like oh, that had full path. So it would be log file. Server is logfile.server. Oh, that was doing the file read. Right, because Nokokiri wants that. Did we determine... Did I do anything with Nokogiri? Right, because that was going to cache. Extract path list from directory. This is from server. Okay, so directory is the fact that it's an index directory. You actually are getting contents, so we just, what our HTML library gives us is we just have the contents. So server, we're going to take most of this. Content equals file.open, or no, log file.open. Oh, is that right? Because log file, right, because what the other stuff expected was to be able to iterate through a log file consecutively. This doesn't really have open. This is going to be hit caps lock maybe? Nope. Okay, there we go. Read. This is. Yeah, it's just read. And then that would be a fetch of the other one. So that's a load log, load file. That should really be replacing this. So you, I think, actually go away. I haven't saved you yet, so it's still got that. Load dir, I don't think I ended up using. Because I really only got monument points. Alright, so to use this, we do monument cache servers.new.each do log file. It should already be excluding other stuff. Oh, and we don't need the intermediate stage on this one. And I guess I could just have this return the monument list. There's not as many of them. So you do have a path which we can use. Server equals log file. Oop, not like that. File.server, log file.path, load log. And that could be our initial test. Do I still have... Don't have one of those open. And we're making progress. We're getting faster and faster as we hit the less and less common lineage depths. But there is that Boots family that's crazy out there. I guess the good thing is that the lineage nil list is also getting smaller. So family trees. And output. So we've got all these monument lists with stuff in them. Oop. Okay, I did double click it apparently. And we got new timestamps, but they're still got all our stuff. Cool. So we can use that to bootstrap our initial load. Okay, monument points. Can we put it in here? I mean, it's kind of an import. So import RB. So I've kind of had my top level stuff here. Well, that is callable, but. So the only thing is. So the problem with reusing this as a namespace is that we have a lot of stuff that's all specific to lives. And while I might reuse some of this, we kind of have namespacing issues. And import is too generic. So really, yeah, you. There's going to be like import lives. I guess I could have an import sublives. I guess I could possibly see having some common code. In which case, in case everything gets indented. And then our import task. Has to specify what it's doing. But I wrote that to the wrong thing. Well, okay, so that was lives. Oh, not def. Okay, so that is import underscore lives. So this goes away. That gets renamed. And this is where we do similar stuff again. Edit, lib, import. Lifelog history. I guess monument. Monument cache. This might be similar. Monument cache. You cache do logs. Logfile.server, we don't need that. Set lineage, load server. So does this start to look more like you? I guess this is your own kind of load log. Only we're not putting it to JSON anymore. But, okay, so monuments. Might want to do that once. We might want to actually do something similar to this. But hey, what do you know? We actually have to define tables now. I still don't necessarily want to do mixed migrations. Certainly not right now. Rails G, migration, create monuments. So we're going to have a server ID. We're going to have y integer. Now there's probably a lot of stuff I could be getting out of monuments that I haven't yet. What am I doing in monument? Load log. Yeah, we're just doing that right now. We could be grabbing the other stuff. So date, location. There's really only bell towers. Well, see, this is a thing we could very easily do a wipe and replace if we need to. There's not a lot of data here. XY. Okay, so initialize is just the Nokogiri node. And I've not yet done the research to get other stuff. Conceivably, we would want naming contributors. Yeah, they'll be easy to reparse. Like knowing what village it was might be kind of nice, but okay. So you too many windows. That is the data we've got to work with. So XY, server ID. I guess I was doing date XY. Date time, actually. So it'd sort of be a, well, I did birth time before, not an at. And it's just a date, doesn't really say what that means. This is small enough. I don't really know we're going to need indexes for anything. Oop. Legal migration name error. Oh. Just a typo. All right, migration. It's exactly what we expect. Can we do schema updates while we're earning here? We're down to about 236. We're pretty much just Boots family at this point, I think. Okay, so we've got some place to put that. So these should generally be... Oh, what was I comparing you to? To import lives. Let's go through the servers. Go through each server. Oh, we do some of our tracking here. I called it a lifelog file. But it's just a file, so... this was import lives. So I'm gonna grab. Why are you farther indented? Because we were doing a logs.each. This is already... Yeah, so that's going to do our one iteration over each server, and then we're just going to grab monuments and do that stuff. So for... Yeah, cache path is fine. Log file.path. Fetched at... Log file.date. Next if. Importing cache path. Well, this is already a kind of load log. Actually, does that mean that this would be equivalent to load server? In terms of then calling down. Or we just do the work, because we don't have two different things to do. And lifelog file is now misnamed. So then we do the work, which gets us down. Well, this actually could be a... Although you're doing more complicated processing. Lives.each. We're building up a record. And then appending that to the appropriate list. So monuments. It's all monuments. that should probably just no-op itself out. So these, I don't at the moment, I don't expect to be updating them. Oh, and I mean, for our purposes here, I could really just say although it'd be a local definition. Oh, you did end up getting some other stuff. What, because I think we could just go down to other stuff here. So that gives us an active record model to use with our data bulk importer. All right, import. Okay, so this is all the columns. Oop. Oh, so I actually kind of did this. Oh, right, because I was really basing this on points. Monument.server, monument.date. Oh, monument.server does not work. Well, the log file has a server. Where do I grab? The log file has a server. I probably should have done this way. And this actually needs to be server ID. Date XY. So this is originally binding a bunch of stuff together. And we've done 288, and there's a lot of lives still missing lineage. More than we can easily look at. Let's... Yeah, that's clear as mud. How about... How do you do... How about... What's our generation? Okay, data set. It is distinct on... Did I just select the chain? No. Okay, so we also have to do... Not quite pluck, but that's actually a pretty broad set. So there might actually be some Eve with a missing head somewhere. Or missing... Oh, and then there's the chain nil people. Which is probably death records. Definitely has a death, cause, birth X, birth Y. Yeah. Uh, oh, that's only 500 though. So lineage nil. If there's that many chains, there's probably a lot of parents. Although if we fixed chain 2, well, there shouldn't be any chain 1. That would theoretically fix, well, I guess any point it could have gotten broken if we had missing lives. I should have done all there. I really just wanted to count. All right, well, we're probably almost here. Oh. Now, the rake file, we can probably just add some stuff to. Although it does have, because there was test. Lib tasks. Monuments test. Cache. Monuments. Monuments.count. We don't have any of this stuff yet. Don't know how to build monuments test. Oh, import lives. Monuments. Don't know how to build monuments test. Lib tasks. Okay, all the Rails stuff. Environment. Oh, does only Rails look in this directory? Yeah, well. I don't know if rake okay, let's. So what happened to import? Because that was working. Oh, did I put the tasks in a subdirectory? Nope. It has to be a rake file. So you are not going to be happy. Why didn't I see the import in the list then? Cannot load such file import. Oh, yeah. Maybe that's why they both broke there. Require import lives. Monument rake. Syntax error, import monuments. Oh yeah, it's be return. Logs. Log file. Load server. Yeah, it's ambiguous what that is. We don't actually have a directory structure here. Load log for class. Oh, this needs to be that monument. Okay. So that one's clean. So I probably actually, did I? Yeah, I already checked in some of this stuff. And then we rearranged more things. And monuments, we could rearrange that to update if, or just clear them if need be. Because that did not take hours and hours and hours to do. I wonder if we're going to figure out the renames. Git add. Yeah, it's not recorded as a rename. Oh well. Initial import initial monuments from local cache. All right, so the other thing, I mean, I'm kind of bouncing around a lot of different things. All right, so rewriting the select statement I don't want to do right now. But point presenter should now be able to return the lineage in here. And controller. All right, so this is already, well, this is not exactly the same period as my other 48 hours. So I'll need to work on that. Yeah, okay, so get a server, see if it works. Did we have... We had this one. Did I just call it points? Yeah, and right now it's just a kind of a temporary thing. Oh, okay, so it's not super fast, but we did appear to get some lineage IDs there. So if we go to you, open that. We're currently using a local file. Ooh, that did not work out so well. Uh... 200. All right, we don't need some of this stuff. We don't need a lot of this stuff. So we just saw that we got a response. Oh, do you have a timeout? Is the server seeing that request? Points controller. I wonder if it's not waiting long enough. Select lives. Twelve and 14. Is that valid date syntax? Well, no, wait. That should be the same as this. Well, no, actually, we saw in the request that it wasn't. Oh. Okay, so I've misformatted something here. Oh, wait, did I get my argument order wrong? No, 4 is that. 5 is... it was an experiment, but you've got a lot of files. That window might be dead. Your family trees. Okay, yeah, that was an experiment I was doing. That would only do it if it was there. Okay, you got data. I don't know why it wasn't showing up in my other view. Or no. Why is this different? Oh, I'm not okay. For one thing, I'm not filtering you by server, so it is a lot more points. I guess it could be choking. Or am I doing that manually? In the controller. Yeah. So for the time being, this isn't even the right way to do it. It doesn't even have a count on me. No, that's just as much. Pretty much. Uh... Oh, you're the one that went off in La La Land. I don't think I need you. What do we change? Oh, this is... Actually, I did want that window. Localhost. So we got data. What would we... Min and max time shouldn't affect that. Oh, wait, as far as... Did it maybe not return? Oh, okay. So it didn't turn on the first time. And now we've got lineage color. Huh. Maybe I misclicked? I thought I turned this on. But the query time... So I don't know if an index would help that or not, because we've got a whole bunch of very different times. I guess that's something where you could like add an index, try it, remove it. A just server index might be useful. All right, what's our state here? Put a server limit in there. I added that because now we've got lineage. We really need to set this up to have a better way of querying by server. I've been debating whether I want to do a RESTful structure that like goes by server, because there are probably cases where you want to query across servers. So is it just query parameters, or is it a hierarchical structure? All right, but we're reasonably stable here. So... Oh, Rails G, migration. What don't you like? Oh, I'm in the wrong directory. I've got a window from my other thing up there too, which is being a server currently. And I killed the window again. So add index lives. Just on server ID. Oh, you know, you're just error. You're just a problem to have around. Too many windows. All right, so we were about 2 seconds before. Uh, 1792, that's something, I guess. Well, this thing does its own formatting, so. Like that did something. Lives. Birth time, I think it was. And we might be using death time at points as well. This is more of a continuous value, so I'm not actually sure the index is useful here. Oh, well that makes a small difference. Yeah, so I think we'll be keeping that one. I guess I really shouldn't be creating and destroying these things, but you kind of... I could probably figure out how to just call these things and then back them out and do the migration when done. Yeah, so that's a small difference. That also gives me hope that if I did, since date time is a continuous field, that if I indexed my x's and y's, I could do view-based filtering based on my current window, and perhaps that would cut things down a bit. So like if we're just looking for current, well, everything that would return but based on the date query is in this view, so. But if we're somewhere else, would having a, I don't know if a compound index on XY would make sense. probably fair enough if they could be processed individually. Of course, then the question is, can a database use more than one index as a primary filtering method? Well, what's fast enough for a good first pass? The server... I mean, 10 milliseconds isn't anything, and it is kind of a percentage-based thing. Let's see, so lineages... Oh yeah, when I get to doing the trees, I can redo that based on lineages, so I might want to do an index on that. So this isn't going to be called index experiments in any case. So it is currently unapplied. Or it currently applied. So this is going to be our main query for point stuff. And I think whether we do window queries will be a separate experiment. Oh, if we're going to do birth time, we should probably do death time. Admittedly, birth time is probably more common. But if you did want to do a recent deaths, so this would be like recent life indexes. And then that also goes to your map. DB migrate. Oop. Time code's useful. Uh-oh. Oh, wait. What the... Thank you. It's interesting that it is checking that. And that's probably enough for now. Well, I still, I mean, I might be able to get the monument query, but there's a couple more steps there. There's the query, there is live fetching. I think I can actually use the count of monuments to cut down the number of requests we make there. But it's getting late enough, I'd be concerned about going very late if I started getting into something else at this point. So that is it for now. Thanks for watching. Thanks to everybody who hosted me. And yes, I kind of reset everything here. Oh yeah, and apparently I wanted to check on my client. Let's see. So this is about when I tend to stream. Code in the morning, games in the afternoon. I'm planning to continue Factorio this afternoon, then we'll be back to 1 Hour 1 Life on Saturday to check in on things. Might see if we can poke around at some of the Crucible stuff, although it sounds like they're going to make client changes at one point, and then we have to decide if we want to maintain mods for that. Well, I see somebody else doing some web dev. Uh, Yeah, I don't know. It'd be an interesting. I haven't gotten into the GUI stuff much actually. It'd be because either my client has to somehow conditionally support their features, or I have to maintain the patches on now fully forked branches, which could sound problematic. Anyway, if you're looking for someplace cool to hang out, Brookzerker is doing some PHP in Laravel. So that is someplace cool to hang out. Thanks for hanging out with me. Goodbye, and until next time.